as things went by, it just didn't seem to be leading to a good career at the level of 06, which is colonel, for the rest of my Air Force career. So I retired, and going from a very structured life to a not so structured life, I inherited something called depression, bipolar depression. My grandfather committed suicide before I was born. He was a chaplain in the Army Air Corps, and his two daughters were in the Philippines when my father, having graduated from Clark University with Robert Goddard as his physics professor, Worcester Polytech, then MIT, where he got his doctor's degree, learned to fly at the end of World War I. His assignment was in the Philippines, aid to Billy Mitchell. General Billy Mitchell, later court-martialed for disobeying orders and dive bombing and sinking a Navy carrier. He was supposed to drop from high altitude. What was the question?
You talked about depression and bipolar.
Yeah,
and there were forces.
My mother committed suicide a year before I went to the moon. My uncle had two daughters who committed suicide. Clearly, this was something that I maybe had to deal with. Going from a very structured, very competitive life to now I'm on my own and I'm not sure what to do next. Not beaming people up and down for convenience of the story, not going warp 7. This is reality. This is how far away even the closest star is to us and how long it would take to ever get there. And what would the crew be like when they encounter another civilization?
All these years later, you say that you still find it hard to answer the question what it was like being on the moon.
That's right.
Why?
Because you asked the question based on thinking about my being on the moon. How long? A minute, maybe 2 minutes? How long did I adjust to get used to maybe going to the moon? 5 years, 6 years, one space flight. My best friend being killed in the fire, Apollo fire. My being on the backup crew for the first flight that went to the moon. Neil and I were there. Seeing them save 1968, reading from Genesis, Christmas Eve, much to the chagrin of Madeleine Murray O'Hare. And that's why Deke Slayton said, after I told him my plans if we successfully landed, he said, don't announce that.
Your plans were to take communion.
That's right. We were in enough trouble already. So I didn't. I just asked people to think about the events of the last few hours and to give thanks in their own way. My ego was wounded a little bit by somebody stymieing my good idea, but I've had to accept a lot of people doing that in my life, and certainly an individual religious ritual is not in keeping with "we came in peace for all mankind."
One of my favorite, and on that planet,
he pestered a lot of people. He had pestered me once before by trying to film me as I was on a book tour. He wanted to see my reaction to things like, well, you said you went to the moon, but we looked at a lot of people from Hiroshima that had radiation problems, and you went through the Van Allen belts to the moon and came back, and I don't see any skin falling off your face. You know, and the flag looks like it's in the breeze. He didn't come to the moon. Well, I've had to deal with that question many times, and I still don't have a good answer because it's human nature to be fascinated with conspiracy, doomsday predictors. And so, I can't really fault people, but I'll still call them gullible for buying into this guy's ego. And then the media fans the embers because they want controversy too.